Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by Tap and Barrel Grill, the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment.
Well, this is awkward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With news that's jaw dropping, they're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride of lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Well, this is awkward.
Welcome to episode 171 of Sports on Tap Detroit, alongside Joe Waddell. I am Chris Scott. Joe, how are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Doing all right.
Yeah. I think we're both good now that the Kansas City Chiefs did not three-peat, right? I mean, I think we're not alone in that aspect either.
No, I think the majority of the country is probably pretty happy about the ass kicking that took place on Sunday night. So, and credit to the Eagles of masterclass by Vic Fangio. It really was.
Yeah.
If you sit back and just kind of break it down, the fact that they didn't blitz once during that game,
Not once.
not once.
But that's what you have
Yep.
when you have a defensive line that doesn't need any help.
Yeah. They said, here, secondary, you're going to be on an island the entire game. And defensive line, go get them. And they did.
They did. So Jalen Carter is a beast.
Yep.
And that defensive line went and got him. And then you look at the secondary. They
They pretty much locked
so
it down.
You always talk about how a defensive line can make up for a bad secondary, right? If you get pressure on the quarterback, you can make up for a bad secondary.
Yeah.
Well, the Eagles right now have both. They have a good
Yes.
secondary and they have a good defensive line. And
And you know what, even more so? They're young.
yeah,
They're young. So, like we talk about with young teams, yeah, if you got a young team and they're good, that's great for now. But at some point, you were going to have to pay these guys.
yes.
So
Yes.
you take it. That's what we say about the NFL. They call it not for long for a reason, because your windows are very short.
Yes, once you have that mix, it's a very short window to get it right because you do have to pay your players.
Yep.
And once you start having to pay your players, it's much more difficult to get other players in there for that money,
Yep.
to build a full roster. It's a difficult thing to do.
And that's why it's so important. This is why the draft is so important, because you have to hit on, I would say, at least 60% of the players you draft
Yes.
to do kind of what the Eagles are doing right now. Because
Well-
if you don't, you're screwed. You're not. You can't. It's hard to win a championship through free agency. It just is, because the salary, because of the money. It just doesn't work. So you have to hope that your scouting staff and the players that you draft hit, the majority of them anyway.
Yep.
And credit to Howie Roseman and his staff. They've drafted players that have hit, and that's why they are Super Bowl champs. Another thing I thought about this game is I think it kind of exposed the Chiefs just in this season alone, because if you look at the Chiefs this season, and yeah, I know they finished 15-2 or whatever it was, or 15-3, whatever it was, but a lot of those games, if you actually take a look at it, maybe shouldn't have been wins. You know, they had the block kicks and missed field goals and a toenail out of bounds. You know, things like that. And you kind of look at it, you're like, it's like, man, was this an overrated football team?
Yes. But I would say throughout the season it was hard to say that because they just kept winning, right?
Right.
And then in the playoffs, I mean, they just kept winning.
Yeah.
So were they slightly overrated? Yes. And I think it all fell apart in the Super Bowl for them. They did. That was.
It finally came home to roost. It was finally like, okay.
Well,
now-
it's like the Lions in that playoff game, right? I mean, all along for quite a few weeks, everyone was saying, us included, me included, too many injuries. It's gonna happen.
at
Too
some
many
point it's
injuries.
going to catch up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in that first playoff game, it did, and it showed. And then also Jared Goff didn't have a good game.
No, he didn't.
Like it just was not a good game. And then this one, same thing. You look at it and it's like, all right, all those wins that you barely won, and you snuck through, and you just by the skin of your teeth you got through. Well, you played a team that wasn't going to happen with. Philadelphia was that much better than them.
Oh, and they were completely ready for that game.
Absolutely.
They had a point to prove, and they did. And credit to them. And you look at Kansas City's game plan. It was basically they took that entire 2 weeks to say we're going to stop Saquon Barkley. Well, congrats, you did. But he said, all right, Jalen Hurts, you go beat us.
And Jalen Hurts did.
And he did.
And he absolutely did.
He absolutely beat you. So, again, credit to the Eagles. That's actually one of the more dominant performances we've really seen in a Super Bowl in kind of a minute, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Last one I remember kind of was like when the Bucs beat the Chiefs in their was that the Chiefs' first Super Bowl run? Was that their second one?
Second.
Okay.
Second one.
Because that was an ass kicking by Tampa Bay in that Super Bowl.
Well, and honestly, the last 2 games for Philadelphia in the playoffs were ass kickings.
Yeah.
55-23.
Right.
And 40-22. And
Like-
I love the fact that Taylor Swift has a song. 22.
Oh, is that right?
She
I didn't know
does.
that.
Feeling like 22.
But it's funny if you look at those 2 Super Bowls where they've gotten just dump trucked.
Yep.
The one common theme in both of those games is their offensive line was horrendous in both of
Yes.
them.
It was really bad in this game.
Like the fact that the Eagles really just rushed forward like every play
And won.
and won.
On every play.
Literally got to Mahomes was running for his life like the entire night.
Yep.
And that's so I look at it as a Bills fan, and I go, God, if we just had somebody to just one guy at least that could get to Mahomes, like the AFC Championship would have been completely different. Now I'm not saying that the Bills would have gone up against Kansas or Philadelphia and won. I don't think they would have. I think it would have been a more competitive game because the Bills have a better offensive line.
Yep. Well, and here's a stat that rings out that I don't think people have paid attention to, and it's the fact that yes, Patrick Mahomes was getting rushed on every play, right? He was getting he didn't have any time at all.
Nope.
But the leading rusher for Kansas City was Kareem Hunt, and he had 3 carries for 9 yards.
Yikes!
If you have 0 run game,
You're
the,
fucked.
the play action won't work.
No.
Nothing will work for you.
They were talking about that during the broadcast. It's like once you basically turn a team one-dimensional,
Yeah. Well, and that's what happened.
you're fucked.
Yep. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
They were one-dimensional. And that one dimension wasn't even working. So it's not
No.
like they were even winning on any part of that one dimension. Now, when Philadelphia started playing some prevent defense later on, they started winning some matchups. But
Of course.
it was.
But-
the game was over.
The game was over. And of course, like Chiefs super fans will say, "Oh, look at the numbers Mahomes put up." I'm like, "Dude, that shit was in garbage time, man. Stop it."
Yeah.
Stop
Come
it.
on. He threw. Well, first of all, he threw 2 picks.
Yes.
One of which was a pick 6.
Yep.
So stop.
Like once that pick 6 happened, that was when I was like, "Oh shit."
Oh, it was over.
I was like, this might be a thing
Yep.
right now, you know?
Yep. That pick 6 happened, and I literally looked at my TV and I went, I think this is done.
Yeah.
And
It just looked different.
it did.
Like you think about it, you'll see that, you know, with KC they'll get down 10 or whatever, and you're like, okay, you know, at some point they're gonna come back. But when that happened, that just seemed different. It was like, okay,
Absolutely.
like yeah, there's something not the same about this. Like I don't see them coming back because just how Philadelphia was playing, like they were playing on a completely different level in that game than Kansas City was.
Yeah, it was varsity versus, junior high.
That's kind of what that game seemed like. It really did. So we go to a stat that I heard, and I think I know.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and people always talk about the who's the GOAT debate and all that shit. And again, we've talked about this numerous times on the show, like my feelings on the whole GOAT culture,
Right.
which I think is absurd because I don't really think there is such a thing as the GOAT.
I just
per se.
hate the conversation.
I
because
can't stand the conversation.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Like, depending on what era you grew up in,
Exactly.
you could say somebody else is the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's the whole LeBron versus Michael thing.
Oh, my God,
and
that
I'm adamant it's Michael, but again, I grew up in that era.
Right.
So it is like you got your GOAT, I got mine. It is what it is.
Like when you see the Brontards and like the Jordan cocksuckers when they go at it, I sit back and kind of laugh a little bit.
Fuck, man.
But it's like, get a life, you fucking losers. Like, who cares? You know,
It's not worth arguing
Just
over.
appreciate the
It's
greatness.
just, it's just not worth
Like,
arguing over.
There is no such like LeBron's not the GOAT, Jordan's not the GOAT. It's just whatever. They're great fucking players. Simple as that. They're great players, but they played in completely different fucking eras. They just did.
I disagree on one aspect.
What?
Jordan is the GOAT.
Fine, Jordan is the GOAT. Now, if I had to answer the question at gunpoint, yes, I would say Jordan, but I digress. But, obviously the debate is, is Mahomes the GOAT over Brady? No. No, he isn't.
Not at this point.
Not at
and
this
in my
point.
opinion, after this game, it took a big step back. So
It did.
He was starting to make an argument for it. If you wanted to, You and I disagree to have the argument, right? But
Because there's no argument to be had.
But if you want to have the argument,
Yeah.
he was starting to make the argument.
If he had won 3 straight,
Right.
absolutely.
It was starting to make the argument.
Yeah.
But the fact that that game went the way it did, he
Yeah.
threw 2 picks. No, I think right now the argument's over with. He's still got a long career. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to what you have to say about the stats, though, and what it says.
Well, it kind of goes to this argument a little bit is, obviously Brady has lost, 3 Super Bowls? Right?
7 and 3.
Right. His point differential in the losses was -15.
Okay.
Mahomes' point differential in the losses is -40.
Okay.
Now that's quite a difference if you
Yes.
think about it, and not to mention, one of those losses was against Tom Brady.
Right. In Tampa, mind you.
Yeah, fair enough, in Tampa.
Well, I mean that's even worse in my opinion.
So-
it wasn't like he lost to him in his heyday in
Right.
New England. It was
It was Tampa.
Tampa.
It was like 40-year-old Tom Brady.
yeah.
Now, Brady finished his career with a +36 differential in his Super Bowl career. Currently, Patrick Mahomes sits at -23. Now that's not my goat, man. I'm sorry. And if you really want to do more of a dive into that, I don't think he's better than Joe Montana. I don't.
No, and I would agree with you. I'm interested to see what the. Do you have the breakdown? Are you looking at the breakdown of Tom Brady stats versus?
Just
versus
that particular stat.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at just that particular stat because I heard it during the broadcast, and I was just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I might want to take a look at that.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if their stats are right here because I heard it earlier and I didn't document it. But so it was something about Mahomes' interceptions in the Super Bowls was like he had double the amount of interceptions in like half the amount of games.
Oh wow!
And I'm gonna have to look that up, but it was
It's just in Super Bowls or in the playoffs?
Super Bowls.
Okay.
And that to me says a lot. Like Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six, threw another bad interception at a bad time in the game, and then you look at Tom Brady. He's thrown way less interceptions in the Super Bowl in like double the amount of games. Well, you could say what you want about Tom Brady and who won those Super Bowls, whether it was their defense, whether it was the whole team, whether he had a better team or not. But he didn't make the critical mistakes to lose the Super Bowls either.
True.
So, that comes into play as well. When you can
It does.
when you can not make the critical errors and you can help your team rise above. When you make your team better look,
The only one you can maybe say he made a critical mistake, I guess, would be the one against the Eagles. Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah. But like the two against the Giants, those are two, like the Tyree catch and the Manningham catch.
Yep.
Like that's not on him.
Nope.
That's on his defense.
Yep.
Brady did what he could to put them in positions to win. But you're right. It does go to that. It's kind of like when we talk about like the penalties the Chiefs were getting. It wasn't the amount of penalties they got; it's when they were called. And this is kind of the same with interceptions or turnovers. It's when they happen. And that's kind of what I think kind of goes into this quote GOAT debate, which again I find absurd. Obviously Mahomes has got a long way to go. I heard something on the radio today, and it was a very intriguing question. Like the rest of his career for Patrick Mahomes, they said like the over/under at 0.5 if he wins another Super Bowl. I think he wins at least one more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's the stat, and I got it a little wrong. So Tom Brady's played in 10 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Won 7, lost 3. He's thrown 6 picks in those 10 Super Bowls.
That's impressive.
Patrick Mahomes has played in 5 Super Bowls.
Yes.
He has thrown 7 picks in those Super Bowls. He already has thrown more picks in Super Bowls than Tom Brady, and he's played in half the amount of games. And in 3 of those Super Bowls, he threw 2 picks.
Interesting.
So it's one of those things, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes. I'm not trying to dog him as a quarterback.
No,
I don't.
No, that's not what's going on.
No, it's not. And it's the whole team for me has jumped the shark at this point, and I'm just kind of over the whole team. But Patrick Mahomes is a very good to great quarterback, right? But when you look at it, is you can't put him in that argument at this point. If you want to have the argument, to me, you can't put him in there because he's made critical errors in the biggest of games. And Tom Brady didn't do that, and neither did Joe Montana.
No, Joe Montana in Super Bowl was what, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks? I believe that is his record.
I'm going to look it up
and
right now.
did not lose the Super Bowl?
He did not lose. He was 4-0.
Yeah. So, again, if you guys want to talk about the GOAT between him and Brady, maybe pump the brakes on that a little bit until he actually gets up to the level of Joe Montana.
So, Joe Montana, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in 4 Super Bowls, and he was 4 for 4 in Super Bowls.
Exactly.
And his overall passer rating was 127.8. Patrick Mahomes, he has thrown 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and his passer rating is 86.9. Okay, now we go to Tom Brady. 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 97.7 rating. So, I mean, if you don't have a leg to stand on.
You don't. And again, this is not us trashing Patrick Mahomes.
It's not.
It's just maybe calming the narrative that he's actually in the GOAT conversation because he's not.
Slow your roll. In my opinion, he's 3 right now.
Fair.
If you really want to have the argument, to me, he's 3. Because I don't care who you have at the top, Joe Montana or Tom Brady. It's those 2 then Mahomes at this point.
Now, you know my thoughts on this. I think it's been Montana.
Yes, and I would have a hard time arguing that.
Yeah. But
look at the stats.
I'm not going to go. I'll take either of them, obviously. But
Dennis says, I want a goat. Do you want a screaming goat? Because I'll take one of those.
You know who else? You know who is the GOAT?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the game was a joke. It really was. It was boring. Obviously,
It was.
I think it was pretty early on. You kind of knew like how the game was trending. It was like, okay.
Well, and like I said, to me, it was that pick 6 by Cooper DeJean, and
like that.
How great are the young guys that we talked about it a little bit already, but
Yeah.
Philadelphia has some great young players, man.
They really do.
Especially on that defense. They're
really
going to be
do.
tough for a few years now.
Like that second pick that he threw. Like, who are you throwing that to?
I
I know
don't
you got your leg hit like as you were throwing the ball, but even looking at it before you, what were you looking at?
What did you see?
What did you
before
see that somebody was actually open? Like not only that, but dude, hey Travis, it's done. It's over. It's over.
Did you see what I read something that Travis Kelce was really upset that Taylor Swift got booed, and he felt helpless to do anything because he's her protector, and he felt bad for her. Like,
is that
really?
Is that why he looked like he was about to cry like the entire game?
I think that was because they were getting their asses handed to him. At least I thought that
Like
was.
seriously,
Maybe
every
it
time
was-
they panned him, it looked like he was about to cry.
Maybe it was because of Taylor Swift. I don't know, but is he done?
I think he's done.
I kind of think so.
I think he's done. You saw it.
I kind of think so.
It's like, all right, dude. Like, you might have that odd game in here and there where you pop off and you go for 8 catches and like 2 touchdowns or something like that. But you're nowhere even close to the player that you were. Not even remotely close.
Nope.
So in my opinion, either he's going to retire. The Chiefs aren't going to cut him or anything like that because I just don't think that's not the way they handle things. But if they could
Right.
somehow get out of that contract, so I think he has 2 years left on his deal. I think it's time to 2 years.
I think so. He might retire though.
I think he should retire at this point. You know, we see these guys all the time. They hang on for just like a season or two too long. You know, and they kind of tarnish their legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would be a perfect time for him, dude. What else do you have to prove in the
Nothing.
game? You got your rings. You're considered one of the best tight ends of all time. You're never going to be considered the best tight end ever. You're just not.
No.
Obviously, you can do all this media shit.
Something would have to drastically go a different way for him to be considered the best tight end ever.
Yeah, he'd have to put up like a 100-catch season, which he's not going to do.
No.
Even if he won another Super Bowl, it wouldn't matter. Even if they had won this one, it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, you're never going to get that, quote, GOAT title. But, yeah, I think now is the time. You've done all you can in this game. It's not after this, you're just kind of playing just to play. And I know chasing that ring, I get it. You want another one. I can certainly understand that. You won a fourth one. I get that, the competitiveness. But at some point, you have to look at it logically and be like, you know what? And he's talking about it on his podcast. He's like, dude, my body kills me like every day.
Yeah.
Well, your brother was smart enough to say, I'm done with this shit.
I'm done. I'm out.
And he's killing it and doing media and shit. And I'm sure Travis
Now,
could too.
No, don't get me wrong. Jason Kelsey's become a little bit annoying this
Fair-
last
fair
year.
enough.
He's all over the
He
place.
is all over
but-
the place.
But I give him credit. Cash in on it, man.
Absolutely.
Do your thing.
If people are going to listen to it and all that shit,
Do your thing.
dude. It is what it is. Who is he to say I'm not going to do this anymore?
Right, no, of course.
If people
Like-
are going to watch it, fine. And the same thing with Travis. If he wants to retire and
I'm
go
sure
follow Taylor all over the fucking
Yeah,
place,
I'm sure
and-
there's people that will pay him to do the same thing Jason's doing
Exactly.
right now. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I won't watch it. Same as I don't watch Pat McAfee, and same as I kind of tuned out on Jason Kelsey because it got a little old. But
It got a
there's-
bit much.
There's people that will watch.
of course. And
There's
like
people,
that,
and they will pay you. You'll still make a really good living.
Yep. Yeah.
Millions.
And like I said, if you want to hang out and follow Taylor, if you guys don't break up tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you can still be up her butthole for even if you're not a football
Yeah,
player.
I just think it's time, man.
At least I
It's-
think she'll still let you be up her butthole without
Maybe.
being a football player. I don't know.
I just think it's time. It's you have a great legacy right now. Leave it at that, man. Don't we again, like I said, we've seen too many athletes just hang on too long, and it never ends well. It never ends well. And not to mention, like if you're not playing at that level that you feel you should be at, there's a chance you get seriously hurt. You've gone through your career pretty much unscathed, so maybe realize that and be like, okay,
Yep.
maybe it is time for me to be done here, because they're obviously going to do something to get your replacement, which they think they kind of already have. So I don't know. That's just me. I think he's done. But
Talking about Noah Gray.
yeah,
Yeah,
I personally I think he's done, but we'll see how he ends.
I
up
would
playing
agree.
Out. But,
I would agree. I think he is too. I do.
but that's like you've seen it with athletes. That's the hardest thing for them to do is to know when they're done and just to walk away. Which
Yep.
I can appreciate.
Well, I mean, you've been a competitor for that long, right? So, it's hard to turn that off.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. You've been doing it your whole life. Of course it's hard to turn it off. Well, anyways, so obviously the game was boring. So let's get to the, I guess, other parts of the game. What did you think about the halftime show? This very, quote, divisive halftime show.
Yeah. So, I just want to know at what point in the years where you either have to say the Super Bowl halftime show was the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and it was just the best thing ever on the entire planet Earth, or you're a hater or a racist or whatever, or you're old man on the lawn yelling to get off the lawn. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar.
Neither do I.
I thought the halftime show was okay, but for me to say anything more than that would be a lie. And for everybody who listens to his stuff and appreciates it more than I do and was into it, I'm sure you loved it more than I did. And great, but I don't feel that I have to say it's the greatest fucking halftime show ever, or else I'm a racist or I'm old white guy yelling to get off the lawn. You know what I mean? Like, when did it become either or?
That's the one that bothers me, is if you
Like,
say you didn't like it, like racist,
right?
Automatically.
I fucking hate that,
Really?
dude. What? Because I listen to rap. I just
Yes.
don't listen to him.
Like I'm not a huge fan of his music.
I'm not either.
That does not in any way, shape, or form.
But apparently, we're just old
we're
racist white guys.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you're white.
You're old racist white guy,
Like,
and I don't appreciate that.
I
think
saw
it's fucking
people like
stupid.
tweeting like, oh, like with all those dancers. Oh, like all these dancers, you couldn't have like one white dancer. Oh, wait a minute, you want DEI now? You want that now? Weird how that works. Okay.
I see. When I watched it, I didn't give a shit at what the dancers look like.
Exactly,
Who
my boy.
cares?
I didn't fucking care.
Who cares what the dancers look like?
And
Now the choreography and shit, I kind of like that. The way they did the flag.
I thought it was cool.
The way, like it was decent. It was okay as far as some of that stuff goes. I just don't appreciate his music because I don't listen to it. And not that I don't listen to rap, because I thought when Dre did it with everybody, I thought that was one of the best
I thought it was
halftime
fantastic.
shows ever.
That was great.
Loved it.
Yes, that was great.
But that's the rap I listen to. I listen
Yes.
to old school rap. I don't
here.
listen to today's rap. So it's not that I'm an old racist white guy. It's that I just don't appreciate the music. And you can hate me for that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that I couldn't care less about. If you want to hate me for that, then by all means. Like,
But
it just makes you ignorant,
Right. Like, I
Like,
thought it was okay.
Yeah, I watched
And
it.
I
was like,
understand there was a message to it. I get it. I saw the message, guys. I saw it. I get it. Great for the message. It's like any other message that gets sent during any sporting event.
Exactly.
I really don't care.
No, I really don't
Like
care.
it's like any message that gets sent by any race,
Right.
any person at all. It's a sporting event. I don't care about the message.
No.
It's great that he had a message and they all put it together. But I'm not going to judge the halftime show on that. I'm just not.
No, I'm not either. But it's funny. Like, he said a message, and then of course people got pissed about it. It's like, well, let's flip this around. If it was, let's say, because you know who's mad about this. Let's say it was one of your people that did this. You'd be perfectly fine with it.
But you can say that about both sides.
I know
all
that,
the time.
I know that. That's exactly
And
what I'm saying.
that's what I despise.
That's exactly what I'm
about
saying.
Both sides is that so many people these days are so hypocritical. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it every day. We've seen it every day probably for the last 8 to 12 years. 8 for sure.
Oh, for definitely.
So no matter what side you're on, if you're out there arguing your side right now over the last 8 years and you're just out there all day arguing it, you're probably a hypocrite. Because those of us who are sitting back watching just laugh because both sides are being hypocritical right now. Completely.
like you were just saying, like, I don't know why you can't just sit back and watch it and just go, I like this or I don't like
Or
this.
right.
And be done with it.
That's it.
Like, why does everybody have to read
That's it.
into, like, well, he doesn't like it because he's a racist.
Well, what I don't like is
Or he likes it because he's woke.
right.
Okay.
So what I don't appreciate is the fact that I, as a white man, I like it was a black performance. But if I say it was only okay, then I'm feeling like, man, I gotta back this up with like I just don't like his music, or I gotta say something else. Like the performance was okay. Like the choreography was great. But for me, it wasn't my music. It wasn't what I listened to. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar. No, I don't listen to Drake either, because I know you might say, well, you take the other side in the beef. I didn't even know there was a beef until I heard about it this last week. So, and I got made fun of for that too. I had no fucking clue, man. But no, for me, it was just the performance overall was okay. The choreography was cool. I liked the flag with the people that did it, with the dress. Like, I thought it was all good. I just didn't dig it on that level. That's all.
Right. Because, like, a lot of those songs I've never heard before. I'm like, okay. I don't know what this is, so what am I listening to?
No, really, honestly, the only song of his I know is Humble.
Okay.
And I do like that
Like,
song.
I can appreciate the performance. I may not
Right.
know a lot of the songs, but I can appreciate the performance.
Yeah.
But also in the same breath be like, I wasn't that big of a fan of it because I don't know any of his songs.
Right.
You know,
I wasn't blown away by it.
right. You know, if it was somebody out there whose songs I knew, it would be different. Like when Usher was out there, it was like I know a lot of his songs,
Right.
and I thought his performance was pretty fucking good. You know, obviously you just mentioned Dre and Eminem and those guys.
Yeah.
I know their songs,
Right.
So I was like, I thought that was a pretty good performance. You know, even when Rihanna did hers.
I was gonna say I really dug Rihanna's.
I thought Rihanna's was fantastic,
And honestly,
especially because she was pregnant.
Right.
It was
And
even
honestly,
better.
yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah. I think afterwards when we found that out, we were like, God damn,
She
that
rocked
made
the
it
shit
even better.
out of that.
And I knew more Rihanna songs than I even realized.
Exactly.
So like watching that performance, I thought, all right, I know some of Rihanna's songs,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a good singer, so I thought, all right, I'll like this a little bit. I knew more of her songs than I fucking knew I did.
I'll bet you anything next year it'll be country.
Country?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I'm out on that one too.
I'll bet you almost anything.
I'm
It'll
out
be-
on that
It'll
one
be
too.
like
You know how I feel about country. Bro.
it'll be like fucking Morgan Wallen or some dipshit like Jelly Roll or some shit like that. 1,000,000% it'll be
as
country.
long as it's not. Don't include Kid Rock, please.
Dennis will love it. That'll be
Dennis. Yeah, Dennis, you will love.
Dennis will love it.
You will love the country. one.
But I almost guarantee you it's going to be country next year.
Well, so that's the thing. So no matter who they get artist wise, nobody's gonna be fully happy.
Of course not. Of course not, because you know you got people like us. Like I don't want to see country.
No,
I don't want anything to do with it. Country.
Allison says country sucks. I agree with you,
Allison, you are correct.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, it's one of those things where you're gonna alienate some people because not
Yeah.
everybody likes the same music, right? So unless you were to do a country singer, a rap artist, a rock singer, and then like a throwback, like somebody from Aerosmith or fucking Journey, you're gonna piss somebody off because they're gonna be like, why don't you get somebody I like?
Well, there's
Well,
talk.
I mean, come on.
There's talk there's going to be Metallica next year.
mean-
Because they're from the Bay Area.
Right.
So
Well, I'm okay with that, but I like Metallica. I would be all right with that. I mean, I probably still wouldn't be blown away by their
but
performance.
like we just talked about, you're going to get half people to like this fucking
right,
sucks.
exactly. You're gonna be like, oh, you got a white group to do it this time.
And there
'cause
you
it was
go.
Black last year.
But if you say that to another race,
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
you're racist.
That's- I
That's why you
know.
don't like because you're racist. What?
right,
Exactly.
so I
Like,
again,
you see how absurd that sounds?
it's very hypocritical.
It's-
Across the board, bro.
Across the board. It's so dumb. Like, hey, I could say dumb things too.
Right? Yeah. Look, I can say stupid shit.
know?
You say stupid shit. I can say it too.
It's weird how that works.
It's-
Oh my god, it's so dumb.
But so, as far as your actual thoughts on it, you're kind of on the same wavelength? Like it was.
I think
just,
so. Like again, if I knew more of the songs, I might feel a little bit differently about it. I thought
Right.
the performance itself, just the choreography and all that shit,
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool, especially with
Yeah.
Sam Jackson in there. I thought was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I did like that.
Because I love Samuel L. Jackson. He's one of my favorite actors. So in that regard, I thought, yeah, I kind of dig this.
He's one of my favorite actors, motherfucker.
Exactly. If I could have anybody narrate my life, I would want it to be him.
If anybody were to ever narrate my life, it'd have to be him.
Right.
There would have to be plenty of motherfuckers thrown out.
Like it would have been him, or
In
before
my
he
na-
died, DMX.
Yeah, hey, you a bit.
Exactly. I think it'd have been great. This motherfucker.
This motherfucker.
But yeah, just going based purely on choreography alone, and not knowing a lot of his songs, or most of his songs, I would get like on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 5.5.
Yeah,
But like if I knew more of his songs, probably like a 7.5.
I'm
maybe
I'm
8.
probably along the same lines. I'm probably 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
Out of 10. The performing was good. The choreography was good. You're right. I dug Sam Jackson being out there, and I know there was a message behind it. So okay, kudos for that.
I just thought it was impressive that he really didn't like take a break or any breath. He just went.
Yeah,
And I thought that was pretty impressive.
yeah, and there was no. I mean, I know he had some people come out, but like it was mainly just him.
Yeah, I mean he had Serena come out and Crip Walk, which was
Yeah.
kind of a shot at Drake.
It was. I learned that too. I
Yeah.
had no idea. I had to learn that this last week
Right.
or this weekend. That was a shot at Drake. I had no idea.
Lady Friend says, I like the simplicity of it. It wasn't overly pretentious with over-the-top costumes and pyrotechnics. It was about music and performance. Not a fan, nor do I know any of his music. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a realistic.
Yeah, I'm kind of with her on that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of there too. So,
but can we get past the whole you have to say it was the greatest performance ever or you're hating on it?
That's every
Like,
year
can we just
though.
get I know it is, and I'm tired of it. Like
Best Super Bowl halftime ever. No,
let's just get past it, please.
no, it's just the most recent one you saw
Right. It's the greatest Super Bowl performance that you've ever seen
just now.
Right this minute.
Exactly. Like everybody.
And then 10 minutes from now, it's the greatest performance you've seen 10 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Like that's
exactly.
like come on.
Now, like I will always there's two songs that I will stand on that are the best sporting event wise, that I think are the best songs ever done or performances that'll have ever been done.
Hold on. Can I guess one?
Sure.
Purple Rain.
Oh, Prince at the Super Bowl?
Yes.
I think it's you want to talk about the GOAT?
Purple Rain in the rain.
Yes. You want to talk about like
Fucking
the
amazing.
GOAT performance halftime
That's
show?
it.
That's it.
That's it.
And then
Yep.
Whitney Houston's national anthem in 91 with Bills Giants.
Okay.
That's to me that's the greatest anthem song ever.
Yep.
And speaking of the anthem, this year that guy, whoever sang it, John Baptiste or whatever the hell his name is, that anthem fucking sucked.
Lady Friend says, "Damn, just give us an entertaining halftime show. Doesn't have to be the best, just fun to watch."
Well,
and I would agree with that.
Even if it's not the best, people are going to say that's the best halftime show I've ever seen.
Right. Or if they don't,
Yeah.
they're hating on it.
Right.
So
That's terrible. Oh, okay, cool.
Right. And there are people that, like, I saw some comments that this was the worst halftime show ever. I couldn't understand them. I didn't know. And okay, for the people that are,
But those people will listen to Pearl Jam.
or those people are like our parents' age,
Right.
that listen to rock music that is clearly spoke. Yeah, our parents aren't going to understand rap. They're not going to listen to that concert and go, "I know what he said." You know what I mean? Like, they're just not.
Right.
So to them, it wasn't a great performance. But how can you hate on them for that either? It just wasn't their music, and they didn't understand it. They didn't like it.
Right.
That's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, that's not. They're a different generation, and they're a different group of people who just don't listen to that music.
Right.
Now, you and I can listen to that, even though we don't listen to his music much. We can listen to the rap, and we can understand the words for the most part because we have listened to rap.
Yeah.
Our minds work like that, so we can hear the words he's saying. But to a lot of people, it's just jumbled up mess. So they're not going to like it.
Lady Friend says we need a yacht rock halftime show. You're fucking right, we do. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I'm not really on board with that one
Oh,
either.
I would love a yacht rock halftime show.
I'm not
That'd
really
be
on board with
great.
that one either. So
But getting back to the national anthem, though, like, guys, just sing the fucking song.
yeah.
Like, seriously,
Yeah.
just sing the fucking song, man.
Well, so it goes back. This
There's no need for you to put your little fucking fancy spin on it.
no. Like, you don't know.
Stop it. Just sing the fucking song.
You don't have to personalize
You really don't.
the national anthem.
And honestly, it's kind of disrespectful to do that.
It really is, in my opinion. I agree with that. The people that personalize it to me,
Just sing the fucking
just
song, man.
butcher it. Just please sing the national anthem. And you and I talked about it. We don't think the national anthem should be at all sporting events.
No,
anyway.
but big ones like this.
But the big ones like this,
Yeah,
yes,
fine.
But please, just sing it.
Yes.
Just sing the fucking national anthem. That's
Sing,
it.
Sing it how you would sing it, but don't fucking personalize it.
Yeah, don't put your stamp on it.
No. Just sing the damn song.
If your voice isn't enough to make you stand out singing the national anthem, then don't do it.
Like, how he ended that national anthem, I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Well, it's like the girl who,
Yeah.
who by all accounts, what I've heard from music, she's a good singer. But the girl who did it at Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude, that was awful.
It was not good. But I still thought hers
Was better
than this fucking guy.
No, and I agree.
Because at least she didn't like say the same verse 3 times in a fucking row.
Right.
Like this fucking idiot did.
Well, I love the fact that when people were talking about if this was going to go over 2 minutes or not,
Yeah.
it's way over.
Way over.
Way over.
Like because I was trying to find out who was actually singing it the day before, and I was trying to find if he's ever done it before, and I was going to make a bet on that.
He has.
I couldn't find it.
He did it one time before.
Okay.
And it was over 2 minutes. And the over-under on this one was, I believe it was exactly 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the only other one that he did
Yeah.
was over 2 minutes.
Okay. If I had found that information, I probably would have thrown some money down on that. But, anyways, so we've gone through the halftime show, and obviously we've gone through the national anthem. Obviously, the other big component of Super Bowls are the commercials.
What?
I know, right? It's crazy.
Really?
Yes.
I've never heard that before. It's a new one.
But before we get into that, let's do the Joe Wright read. I got nothing, man.
Wow.
I got nothing to bring that in.
What a segue.
Sorry, man. I got nothing. I usually have something. I got nothing on this one. I just remembered I had to do it. I'm like, just fucking bring the Joe Wright read in.
That was not your best work.
It
bro.
was definitely not.
That's all right.
Again, they can't all be winners.
That's it. But you know who is a winner?
There it is. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 3 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, and Shane Wilson a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the commercials. I thought they fucking sucked. I thought the commercials were absolute trash this year. There was only like 3 that I was like, okay, these are pretty decent.
I've heard that from a few people, but I heard it from somebody pretty close to me that was kind of how they felt too. The commercials weren't very good.
They were
and
not good.
And I'll be honest with you, this was probably the first year where I didn't really pay attention to them a whole lot.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because nothing stood out to me. You know what I mean? Like nothing came out and punched me in the face as far as the commercial goes. And then as we talked about, I kind of stopped watching a little bit after like midway through the third quarter. I put the game on the small TV and put a video game on the big TV. So
yes,
I was a little tuned out. But yeah, nothing stood out to me. So
there was, I think there was like 3 that stood out to me. There was the Jeep commercial with Harrison Ford, which I found pretty good.
So my mother actually said she liked that one. That was one of the ones that stood out to her.
I just like the ending of it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I thought the ending of that one was. Really
I'm gonna have
good.
to watch that one because now both of you have said that was a good one.
I like that one. The one, I guess my favorite one of the night was the Stella Artois commercial with Matt Damon and David Beckham.
I think
I like that one.
I think my mom said
that one was actually funny.
She said that was one of her favorites.
And there was another one too, and I don't remember what it was, but it was all right. It wasn't great, but it was all right. But yeah, for the majority of them, they're just not good.
No, and I saw wasn't there a couple medical ones that they had out there? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like
there's not. That's the thing. Like
the Super Bowl should be for, like, out of the ordinary commercials.
Yes.
Like don't give me a medication commercial during the Super Bowl. That gives me all the side effects. That one of them is leaky stool,
right,
and erectile dysfunction. You know what I mean? Like, can we not do that during the Super Bowl?
You're gonna have violent diarrhea,
right? Like you're gonna have runny diarrhea. And wait a second, the medication is supposed to stop diarrhea.
Know, right?
A side effect.
Like the side effects are worse than what I
That's
actually
right,
have.
Yeah. Side effects for a medication to cure your
anal leakage are worse than what you actually have.
Or like your depression medication leads to anal leakage and erectile dysfunction. Well, that's gonna make me depressed.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right about that. But yeah, but that's the thing. It's like there's really no other commercials that stand out to me, and that's
no.
And I think they were kind of trash this year.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you're right.
I'm trying to think of the third one that I somewhat liked, and I don't remember what it was. I really don't.
Well, apparently you didn't like it that much.
Exactly, and that's my point.
So you had 3, and one of them already left your head.
Yeah. But like the 2 that I mentioned, I thought those were solid.
So the advertising execs this year lost.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the goal of a Super Bowl ad is for you to remember it.
Yeah.
And remember the product that was sold in it, right?
Yep.
Well, advertising execs lost this year.
Now, with that Harrison Ford Jeep one, I'm never going to buy a Jeep, ever, because I just don't like Jeeps. But I do like Stella Artois.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I like Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Not a huge Beckham guy, but I like Matt Damon.
Yeah. So. And I can't say I'm never going to buy a Jeep. I do like Jeeps. I like the actual Jeeps, like the Jeep Wrangler.
I think the whole duck thing with the Jeeps just totally turned me off.
Yeah, that one is fucking weird.
I'm good.
So here's the thing: if I ever got a Jeep, if you ever saw me do that with a fucking duck, I want you to kick me in the junk so hard that my balls go into my throat. Like, that's what I want you to do. I want you to kick me so hard.
I have no problem doing that.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that to me is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever got a Jeep, I would never do
I go
that.
like
that's fucking stupid.
I go like Nigel Gruff and the Replacements.
Yes, yeah. Please.
Let's play football, bitch.
Yep. Please do that. If I ever do that,
Yeah, that
teach me a lesson.
zero hesitation from me on that.
No,
one.
no, yeah, you would. Yeah, I wouldn't even have to say it. You'd be like, bro, you said it.
The fuck is this?
You said it. You better stand there. you better not move. You gave me the cue.
I almost want to sneak. If you ever got a Jeep, I almost
You
want to sneak
sneak a
one.
duck in there?
Sneak a duck.
Bro, what the fuck?
What the fuck is this shit?
You planted that. You planted it.
I did not. Oh my god. Yes, that would be rather funny. But
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The whole duck thing, I don't get it. I don't even know where that came from. And
I don't
to me,
either.
if I ever owned a Jeep, that would be something that I would never do.
like
Ever.
I've tried to research this a little. I tried to research it when I was down in Florida because I saw a ton of Jeeps down there, and I saw obviously the ducks and whatnot. And I tried to figure out what the deal with this was. Apparently, and this is what I got. I don't know.
Apparently?
Apparently, what I got was it's like a, kind of like a, hey, nice truck, and they exchange ducks for this. When you could just say, hey, I like your Jeep. Hey, I like your Jeep.
Why don't you just
move on?
Okay, so why don't you just have little fucking cards made out
Yeah.
that says nice Jeep?
Right. Or
And then you put it in there, put it on the windshield.
how about you get like little like how about you guys just like exchange a bag of dicks and put little dicks on your fucking dashboard?
Yep.
How about that?
Speaking of which, I'm trying to come up with a really good April Fool's joke this year. One that doesn't
Yeah,
get me
don't.
one that doesn't get me almost fired.
Yes, probably
But
good
I'm actually
idea.
going to get my boss in on this one, and I need to talk to him.
About a bag of dicks?
No, but so that was brought up the other day though as something you could do for
Send
for-
somebody a
for
bag of
April
dicks?
Fool's, send somebody a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
And there was actually one. It was Eric brought up to me the other day. It was chocolate ball sacks.
Oh jeez. That's racist, bro.
What? Maybe they make white chocolate ball sacks. We don't know. I don't know. I just know
man.
what he showed me, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah, his lady friend said like most of the commercials were just fucking weird. I agree with you. They were fucking weird.
Shit. I love how it autocorrected for her. She goes, "Can you imagine if two Jeeps got into an accident, ducking everywhere?" I would imagine you meant ducks
Yeah,
fucking everywhere.
Yes, I think that's exactly
So
what you meant.
autocorrect is great on that one.
Always.
Ducks ducking around.
You can fix that. You can make it not say ducking. Well, she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She's on the spectrum.
She doesn't know. Scotty doesn't.
Scotty
know.
doesn't.
That's
She definitely doesn't know. I can tell you that.
So I was looking at something, and if you don't mind, humor me for a minute.
Of course.
I want to look
That's what
at
I'm here for.
some of the. Not all the time, but coaching changes.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to go through. There was some grades put out that was not autocorrect. That's always intentional. When you put ducking, that's always intentional.
Okay.
All right. Do you just not swear? Or is that a thing you don't swear in text messages or in writing? You just do it in person? Like you don't want it out there in black and white. You say it and then it just disappears.
Anyways.
So they were giving out grades for the coaching changes. All coaches basically at this point have been secured.
Well, it's like when she goes to look, I tell her to look something up on Google or something like that,
Yeah.
and it's questionable. She won't do it because she thinks somebody's going to find out that she looked it up. Like when I told her to look up bukkake,
And she was like, no.
no, she's like no. She wouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't do it if I was connected to my work's Wi-Fi.
but it was her phone.
But it's your own phone.
Yeah.
Like, what? Who's going to find out?
Exactly. And then she finally did.
What? What? I think that's actually funnier.
Yes, I concur.
But who's gonna find out? What are you afraid? Are you afraid Zuckerberg's gonna get mad? Zuckerberg's gonna come out one day and be like, "You Google this."
I don't know. It's weird.
She's like, "Damn," she said, "Damn straight."
Yeah.
All All right, so coaching
Because
changes.
like the card in Cards Against Humanity, she didn't know what
Cards
it
a-
meant. Like Pixelated Bukkake, she didn't know what it meant. I'm like, Google it.
oh,
It's like, no. I'm like, why not? It's like, because I don't want it's
I don't want
always on my
anybody to know
browser. I want
I don't want anybody to know that I Googled that.
exactly. And then she finally did.
But I don't know who's gonna
Yeah.
know that you. Who's gonna know?
That was a nightmare. Never again.
I love how she said they was a nightmare though. Apparently, I mean there is a they in that.
Yes.
There is a they.
Yes. Yes. Anyways, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you. Go on with your coaching.
You're good. That's what we do. Tangents. No, I was just looking at the coaching changes, right? And all coaching vacancies have been filled at this point.
Yes. The last one being what, today or yesterday?
Either today or yesterday was Kellen Moore to the Saints.
Yep.
And by all accounts, they offered that to. Oh God, he coached the Cardinals before
Kingsbury?
Kingsbury.
Yeah.
They offered it to him originally, and he turned it down to go back and be the OC at Washington.
I don't blame
still.
him.
I don't either. But then
that situation in New Orleans is a fucking dumpster fire.
But then Kellen Moore
Yeah.
had several interviews with them. Amazing how that works out, though. He had several interviews with the team and was in line to get the coaching job, and his team still won the
Wait,
Super
he
Bowl.
wasn't distracted?
No, he wasn't. Apparently not. They won the Super Bowl.
Oh, speaking of that, which
won the Super Bowl.
I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, like after the game, I wanted to see how Lions Twitter was kind of reacting to this.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
And
one.
not as many as I thought there was going to be, but there was a few saying, "Oh, we would have beat this Chiefs team." Okay, well that may be so,
but you wouldn't have beat Philadelphia to get there.
But exactly, you wouldn't have beat Philly to get to that point.
Nope.
And you couldn't even beat the team that Philly dump truck to get to that point. The fuck are you talking about? Fucking idiots.
We woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But you didn't even get there. So how can you say that? That's so stupid. Anyways, go
Yeah,
on.
I'm with you. That's dumb as hell.
I was like,
that doesn't
okay.
make any sense.
Like I'm not. Now it wasn't as many Lions fans as
you
was gonna
thought?
be.
Yeah.
But I did see a few, and I'm just like, you can't say that. You really can't say that.
That's not the same.
That's not the same. Like, again, you didn't beat the team that the Eagles dump truck to get to that point.
And the Eagles dump truck 2 teams
Yes.
in the last 2 playoff games.
Like, stop it.
And you couldn't even beat the team that Philadelphia dump truck to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, yeah, that's not a thing, man.
Now, do I think I can't even say that? Like, it's like saying the Lions would have put up a better fight against the Eagles than the Commanders did. How can you fucking say that?
I mean,
They whooped your ass.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
But yeah, to say that, like,
ifs and buts, candies and nuts.
Yes.
Uh,
Now, do I think the Bills would have put up a better fight against the Eagles? Yeah, I do.
I
think
do.
I don't think they would have won. I think they would have put up a better
but
fight.
again, they couldn't even beat Kansas City, though.
Right.
So like,
Exactly.
same
same thing.
same argument,
Right.
right?
Exactly. So-
But so Kellen Moore, I just want to make that point too, that he wasn't distracted and they won the Super Bowl. So they, you can blame that all you want to, but Kellen Moore just proved that's not really a thing.
No.
So Kellen Moore, New Orleans Saints, grade the hire.
Fucking. I'm gonna grade it with a D. Like, it doesn't matter
Okay.
because that team is in cap hell for like next 3 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters who you fucking hire.
It really doesn't. And to me, I look at Kellen Moore, and I'm going to grade this based off of what I think about him being a head coach. I think he's a really good offensive coordinator. I'm just not sold on him being a head coach.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to give this a C
Okay.
plus, C, I don't know, C, maybe C minus. I'm with you. I think the Saints' job is a dead man walking
Yeah.
team. Like, I don't care who gets hired there. You're not going to be there when they're relevant again.
Nope.
Because you're a dead man walking in there.
So to me, it's almost kind of like incomplete. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, it's
but I have to get a lot of grade. I'm gonna give it a D.
and I'm probably there with you. I'm like a C minus.
Yeah.
I said C plus on accident, but I'm a C minus. Pete Carroll to the Raiders.
B minus.
I'm kind of right there. I'm a B.
I think
I'm a B.
I think he'll finally bring some stability to that organization, which is desperately fucking needed.
Yep.
But still remains, you don't have a fucking quarterback.
You don't. And the only thing is he did make it with what turned out to be maybe he wasn't really that good of a quarterback. You know what I mean? So
Well, from everything I've read in the last little bit,
he might be going there.
Uncle Aaron.
Aaron going to the Raiders? Oh, jeez. That's another one. Like, to stop hanging on, man. Just go off right off in the sunset.
Like I love Aaron Glenn was like, nah, dude, you're gone. I want nothing to do with you.
Can you blame him?
Nope.
Not one bit.
Nope.
He's got to try to start over.
Oh, yeah.
At quarterback there.
Why
would you saddle yourself to a guy who's not going to be there next year?
I love from the jump. He's trying to set a certain culture. He's like, nah, dude. Either you're all in or you're fucking out. Like I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
So
I actually think that was. We'll get to that one.
Yeah.
I'm with you with Pete Carroll. I think it's a B.
No.
He's gonna bring stability, and it's not like the guy forgot how to do it.
He's only been out of the league, what, 1 year? 2 years?
2.
Okay.
So I think it's a good hire.
Yeah.
I think it's smart.
Yep.
Vrabel, New England.
Again,
I'm gonna give this one a grade you probably wouldn't think I'm gonna give it, but
yeah. I'll probably say a solid B.
so I'm gonna go C plus.
Okay.
B minus.
All right.
I think for New England it was a smart hire. Like that was who New England wanted.
Yeah.
And that's why they got rid of Gerard Mayo. But if you look at Vrabel's last foray into head coaching, it doesn't say great things about what he could be doing, right? I mean, he didn't have the best first round at head coaching.
Yeah. And that's why I'm giving it the grade I'm giving it, because a lot of these guys, if they do happen to get a second chance, they tend to do better in their second job.
Right.
And he has a quarterback to work
And
with.
see, for me, I'm judging him off the past job a little more than I am just now.
Yeah.
But you're right. He does have a better quarterback right now. And he's going into it's not a bad situation he's going into. But I just question he couldn't get it done originally. So
And not to
we'll
mention,
see.
that division's not great.
No.
I mean, obviously, you got the Bills, but, the Dolphins, the Jets probably aren't
The
going to be
Jets.
that good.
So on to the Jets.
Yes.
Aaron Glenn.
I'll give it a B minus.
Okay. They give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it an A.
Oh, wow. All right.
Because I think out of the candidates that were out there,
Yeah.
I think he would have been at the top of my list.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Because people, and I know Frank doesn't like him, right? And people can talk shit about him, but what he did with that defense,
Given
all the injuries they had,
yeah.
what he was able to get out of them was a fucking miracle, in my opinion. And he's a motivator, but he's not like Dan Campbell motivator, where he's like out there like a fucking professional wrestler, right? He carries himself like a head coach. I like the way he talks. I like the way he interviews. He carries himself as a head coach. It's one of those things where if I took over being a GM of a football team, he would have been one of the ones at the top of my list.
It's fair.
I think he's a very good candidate, and I think he's going to do good things with the Jets. Now, hopefully their history doesn't come back to bite him in the ass, but we'll see.
It is the Jets.
It is. The Jaguars and Liam Cohen. Duval. Oh, I'm sorry.
F.
Duval.
F. Simply on that press conference alone.
Simply on one word.
F.
One word.
Yep. F.
I give him an incomplete. Not even an F. Like, you don't even get a grade from me. Like, you did not even do any of the assignment. You
All
get
right.
no grade.
Trash.
Yep.
Yeah. Just that. It was awful.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah. based off of one word too. Like I can't even. I'm sorry, but that you failed your press conference. I gotta ask: are you over there having a chat about? No.
No, I'm actually.
Oh.
I'm looking something up.
Oh, I thought you were having a.
No, I'm looking something up.
Dallas and Brian Schottenheimer.
F.
Which this is one I don't. Where the fuck did this come from?
It's Jera. Seriously.
Is this because he can just push Brian Schottenheimer around?
Yes,
he
he's
won't
a
get
yes
any,
man.
He won't get any
Yes,
fucking
1,000,000%.
That's what I thought.
Jera has literally no fucking idea what he's doing. Zero.
No, none.
And
But-
like he said, he's like, I own the team. I can do whatever I want. Great.
No,
you've
you're
ran,
right.
You've ran that franchise into the fucking ground.
You have.
Congratulations, dum-dum. But it doesn't matter because it's the show. That's all he cares about is the show.
Yep. I'm an F on that one too. That's one of the. I just don't understand that one other than the fact he wanted somebody that he could push around and wouldn't say anything. Next up, Chicago, Ben Johnson.
B-.
I'm going to give this one an A-. This one is just below Aaron Glenn. And I know I'm speaking glowingly of Lions coaches.
You know what? I give it a B-. And actually, I agree with you on Glenn's grade over Ben Johnson's. Because I just think Aaron Glenn is more of a leader of men than Ben Johnson is.
100%. And that's what I was saying. Like, I like the way Aaron Glenn
Yep.
carries himself, the way he speaks at press conferences, the way he speaks in interviews. Like, he carries himself. When he walks around, it shouts head coach.
It almost seems like Ben Johnson's a complete dick.
Kind of.
You know?
And kind of a tool.
Like, kind of like a nerd.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I'm smart. I'm the smartest dude in the room type
Right.
guy. Yeah.
Right. And so for me, it's an A-. I think he was probably the second best coach out there, which for the Lions, like, look at it. You had two of the best coaching candidates out there on your franchise.
Right.
And you still couldn't win a Super Bowl. But sorry, I had to take a shot there,
I know.
guys. My bad.
I know.
But yeah, I think this is a good hire. I don't see him carry himself like a head coach like I did Aaron Glenn.
That's fair.
And there's the question for me. Do I think he's a brilliant offensive coordinator and offensive mind? Yeah, I do. The things he did in Detroit were amazing.
Impressive. Yes.
Right. So, if that can shine through and he actually is a better head coach than what I think he carries himself as, then he could succeed. But I think he was probably number 2 out there to Aaron Glenn, in my opinion.
That's why you're number two.
That's right. You know who's not number 2?
Who's that?
Tevin Burrow Grill.
That's right.
They're number 1.
Heyo.
Tevin Burrow Grill in Shelby Township is one of the newest sports bars in Metro Detroit. It's an upscale sports bar, features over 40 craft beers on tap, handcrafted cocktails, and a delicious scratch-made food menu. They have an amazing patio, which you'll have to check out in the warmer months. You can't check it out this week because we're going to get snow, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But when the summer rolls around, better weather, check out their amazing patio. Voted best in Macomb County by Crane's Detroit Weekly. They have a comfortable feel, attentive staff, and fine dining food options, which make it a must-visit spot for sports fans and foodies alike. Whether you're watching the big game or just looking for a great meal, Tap and Barrel Grill has you covered. Tap and Barrel Grill, visit them at 50055 Van Dyke Avenue in Shelby Township, or go to tapandbarrelgrill.com.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is there more?
I don't really
No, the coaching. The coach. Is that all? The
Nope,
coaching?
that's it.
Oh, okay.
That was it. That was all.
All right. Do you want to do Hall of Fame stuff, or do you want to do awards, NFL awards?
It's up to you.
All
Don't
right.
matter to me.
We'll do NFL awards.
Fire it away.
We'll do NFL awards. So I'll start from. Let's go. I want to start with Coach of the Year because I think it's absurd who won Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Like I don't understand.
I know Frank was very upset about this.
Was he?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it
Why?
because he thought Dan Campbell should have won.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
I maybe I'm overselling it. I know he brought up to me. I saw he said something, I believe, on social media afterwards. I saw that, but when he came into work the one day, he's like, "Can somebody tell me what the criteria is for Coach of the Year? Because I just don't understand it."
Yeah.
And if Dan Campbell didn't, how did he not win?
He almost did, judging by the voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
O'Connell got 25 first place votes. Campbell got 19.
Okay.
Which, okay. And this is what I don't understand about this whole voting shit, because how Dan Quinn only got 1 vote is absurd.
Okay, so that's why you don't understand how it works.
I think he should have won the damn thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you have an argument there? You do have an argument
Especially
there.
over Kevin O'Connell? Really? Like, I don't know.
So when I was asked,
And frankly, I don't think Dan Campbell should have got any fucking votes. Your team was supposed to win, dude.
so that was my point when I talked to Frank, and I said, listen, so because I didn't know who won at that point, I really didn't know who won,
Yeah.
and so he told me Kevin O'Connell won. I said, well, if you're going to ask me what the criteria is in there, the Lions were pegged as a Super Bowl team going into this season, so their achievements, like he didn't overachieve. He achieved on the level he was supposed to. They went 15-2. They got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. But like, they were pegged to go to the Super Bowl. They were pegged to be a Super Bowl contender at least. Minnesota was pegged to finish last in the division. You know, so in that sense, they finished with a 1-game less record than the Lions. They went to the playoffs. He overachieved more than what Dan Campbell did. Dan Campbell achieved adequately.
He
Where
achieved what he was supposed to. He met expectations.
Right. He met expectations, right? And Kevin O'Connell, that's where I said with that one. Now, if you're going to talk Quinn, no, I agree with you. Maybe he should have gotten more votes or won. But for me to say Dan Campbell should have won it, no, maybe Dan Campbell should have won it last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know,
the year before,
that
absolutely.
You could have the argument last year or even the year before that where they finished the season on a run and almost made the playoffs.
Yeah, he
right?
definitely had more of an argument last year.
Right. So to me, it's a coach that overachieves, not a coach that achieves adequately or just performs like, okay, well, we expect you to be there, so congratulations, you got there.
Right.
You didn't fuck it up, right?
Right.
It's not a coaching honor of who didn't fuck it up. It's who overachieved.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like I said, that's one of the only beefs I have with these awards this year. Like NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, we kind of, I mean, that's, you know, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't. Actually, no, I take that back. I was kind of surprised it wasn't unanimous, but Brock Bowers did have a hell of a year. So, but he only got 1 vote, so it was almost unanimous. But yeah, Brock Bowers, congrats to him. He had a hell of a year. So. But Jaden Daniels that was what he did this year was amazing.
Well, that's one we got before the season even started.
Yeah,
You and I both said he's going to win.
Right.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
And then NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He nobody wants to throw to him, man.
No.
That's I mean, yeah. I'm definitely good with that.
I'm fine with it. I don't hate it. Like, let's look at the voting here. He got 26 first place votes. Next was Trey Hendrickson, then Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Zach Bond. Okay, I think Kirby Joseph even got some votes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah,
you can't tell me he didn't deserve it. I mean, he played
good.
well,
Yeah.
but Patrick Surtain, I can't argue with that one.
Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon. I mean, that was pretty. Yeah, okay.
That's if that didn't happen, it would have been a fucking
Saquon
travesty.
got 35, Lamar 12, Derrick Henry and Burrow 1. Okay. I can live with that. Saquon, he was outstanding this year, obviously.
He was clearly the best offensive player in the league this year.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Comeback Player of the Year. This one is kind of Joe Burrow, really?
Yeah. I don't
understand it. Damar Hamlin dies on the field. He can't get one of these. Really? Come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like the year before, it was Flacco.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Didn't they change the criteria of Coach of the Year? I mean, of Comeback Player of the Year this year?
I don't know.
I think they changed the criteria for it. You had to miss a certain amount of games or something like that. Like you literally have to be coming back from an injury or something.
I mean, guys dying doesn't qualify.
But he died 2 years ago. You can't say give
Still.
him Comeback Player of the Year this year. You could have gave it to him last year.
He was nominated for it.
Was he?
Yes.
I guess if you die in the field, you get a couple of years of comeback player of the year
guess.
eligibility. I guess.
Yeah, he got he actually got 3 first place votes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm gonna try to look up what their criteria is for comeback player of the year.
Defensive rookie of the year, Jared Verse.
Yeah.
He got 37 first place votes, 427 altogether. Quinyon Mitchell was second with 239. Okay, I can live with that. Jared Verse was outstanding for the Rams, so good for him. That was solid. We'll get to that shortly. Obviously, we just did the Coach of the Year stuff, which, again, I thought should have been Dan Quinn, but that's just me.
So I got an answer to this. So beginning the 2024 season,
Yeah.
the criteria for the award was changed to emphasize players coming back from illness, physical injury, or other circumstances that led him to miss playing time the previous season.
Right.
So comeback player of the year wasn't necessarily for being injured or anything like that before. They specifically made it so that you have to be coming back from an injury, an illness, or something that led you to miss playing time. Like Flacco would have never won it
Right.
before,
Right.
if that was the case, right?
Right.
He was comeback player of the year because he excelled on a team where he really wasn't supposed to. He wasn't even supposed to play. Blah blah. Whereas now he wouldn't even be eligible.
Fair enough. And then, obviously, the big one, Josh Allen wins MVP. I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, how could you argue it?
Oh, you see Ravens fans, they lost their fucking minds over this shit.
Okay, well, your boy won last year when he probably shouldn't have with his stats.
These
last
are the
year.
stats I was looking. Josh Allen's stats last year
Yeah.
were better than Lamar's. They were better.
Yep.
And the way I was talking to one of the guys I work with about this, he asked me, I just said, it's a correction from last year. This should have flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Like-
Somebody called Thickneck said U of D quarterback Flacco.
Delaware. Yeah, University of Delaware.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That is who we were talking about.
That is exactly what we were talking about. But yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, this is just a correction from last year. Like, Allen, if you were going to pick either of those two last year, it should have been Allen
Right.
over Lamar. And then this year, it probably should have been Lamar over Josh Allen. Whatever, fine. I'm okay with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But Ravens fans, holy fuck. Like, losing their fucking minds over this shit. Like, it's like, oh, this is it's I find funny.
Let me guess. Was it racist?
It was a DEI MVP.
Oh, okay.
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 Great.
Like, well, then
So
it's funny. Last year, you didn't seem to have an issue when Josh had better stats than you, but your guy won.
yeah, of course not. It doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever. It is what it is. I just found it funny.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
Of course, it doesn't. Yeah. So moving on to the Hall of Fame class.
For me, well, if I'm looking at Josh Allen this year, I'm looking at the fact that they literally restarted by getting rid of a lot of players from that team. His number one wide receiver was who? Khalil Shakir?
Maybe Matt Collins.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Okay, so barefoot Matt Collins
Yeah.
or Khalil Shakir,
Yeah.
who's all of 4'5".
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And a team
if you
that-
look at that alone, the fact that he willed them to the record they had and led that team how he did,
Yeah.
no, that speaks volumes.
No, especially a team that shit was pegged for maybe a wild card.
Maybe. We even talked about it on the
We did.
show
We
several
did.
times. We're
That's
like,
what I
before the
said. I was
season
like-
started, we're like, I mean, they have a shot at a wild card, maybe.
Yeah, but to go, 15-3 or whatever they went, yeah, or 14-3, whatever they went, yeah. I was fine with it. You knew eventually he was going to get one. It was just a matter of time.
Right.
So I'm cool with it. But moving on to the Hall of Fame class this year, you got Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. I'm happy Sterling Sharp finally got in.
Same. Did you see
I
how he
did. I
found
watched
out?
it. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
that was really
pretty
cool how
sweet.
they did that. It's like, what is going on here? I thought that was really cool. I love watching those videos when
When they learned.
they learn that they're getting into the Hall of Fame. A lot of those, like, did you see the Antonio Gates one
I did not.
with LT?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude, it's
I
good.
didn't.
Watch it.
I'm going to have to watch that
Yeah,
one.
it's a really good one.
I like Antonio Gates. I always did.
Yeah.
As a player.
Oh yeah, he had
Basketball guy that actually succeeded on the NFL
Yep.
field. Yeah,
But yeah, they had LT waiting for him when he walked in. It was pretty cool.
nice.
Um,
Is there anybody there that you think doesn't deserve it, or they're all?
no, the
Fully-
guys that
they're all
got
fully
in,
deserving.
the guys that got in, I'm fine with it. Maybe Eric Allen waited a bit too long to get in, but same with Sterling Sharp. I thought he should have been in sooner.
I agree with that one. Yeah, I'm glad to see him get in.
But these 4 players, like, what are we doing here? You got to expand this shit, man. There's too many Hall of Fame worthy players that are waiting far too long to get into this fucking thing. And
Yep.
I can appreciate that the NFL Hall of Fame is selective. And
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. It's not like the Basketball Hall of Fame where fucking shit I could probably get in. But it's you all right there, bud?
Yeah, I'm all right. I was taking a drink when you said that, and I laughed at the same time, and I almost fucking killed myself.
So again, and kind of the same thing with the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, I can appreciate it being a very selective to get into it.
Right.
However, it's just like you look at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, why the fuck is Alexander McGinley not in the Hall of Fame? Like, are you kidding me with this? Like, why is Rod Brindamore not in the Hall of Fame? It's a fucking joke. What are we doing here? There's too many people that should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't because
Yes,
the classes
Oh,
are so small.
and I think there's a few people in there that shouldn't be there.
Oh, absolutely, and that's with every Hall of Fame. I think there's people in there that shouldn't be in there, and that people were bitching that Eli didn't get in the first ballot. Why would he be in the first ballot?
I
Like, I'm sorry, cool. He won 2 Super Bowls,
great.
fabulous. Look
He
at his
also had-
fucking numbers.
Yeah, and
Like,
is he going to be in the Hall of Fame for Down syndrome? Like, I can't stand that guy.
I don't like him either. But you look at his
just don't like
you look at his overall numbers. Are those Hall of Fame worthy numbers?
No. 2 Super Bowls is the only reason he's in the conversation. And looks like so Thickneck said original winged helmet at U of Delaware. I didn't know that.
I did not.
Did
know
you know
either.
that?
I thought it was.
We've-
I thought it was Princeton that did that.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
We have to look that up.
Might have learned something new on the show.
Because I know Princeton. I know Princeton was did it, but I don't know. I don't know who did it first. Maybe Delaware did do it first. I don't know.
And then
we'll have to look it up.
Thickneck also says don't let Eli in, and I second that, and I think you third that.
Yes, I'm with you.
He's got 2 Super Bowls. It's the only reason why he's in the conversation. Look at it, like you said. Look at his stats. His stats don't point to he's deserving.
No, it's kind of like the Joe Namath argument. You look at his stats; they're not
No,
good.
well, neither are Troy Aikman's.
No, Troy Aikman's are not very good.
Troy
either.
Aikman's in the Hall of Fame. You look at his stats, and you're like, what the fuck?
But yeah, like I said, you look at Namath's, and I mean, he's in on a guarantee. Like, that's literally the only reason why he's in
Yes,
the Hall of Fame, because his stats
they don't speak to
are
Hall of Fame worthy.
no, certainly not.
Are you looking up the winged helmet one?
I am actually.
I knew you were.
Oh,
What'd you find out? Is I guess I was gonna say Mr. Thickneck. I don't think that would be a female. So I'm gonna say Mr. Thickneck. Is he correct?
I don't know. There's different things on here. Because one thing said it was Ohio State.
Ohio State? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm looking at it right now. It said in 1930 the Buckeyes wore the first winged helmet in college or professional football. The helmet was dark leather with a contrasting color wing on the front.
I don't believe you.
Just reading what I have here.
And apparently, Mr. Thickneck says you second guess me.
I'm just curious because I wanted to find out.
Maybe if I actually knew who you were and trusted your opinion, I might not second guess you. But you might be teaching us something we don't know because that one threw us for a loop.
Yeah, because it says nothing about Delaware in here.
Huh. Well, now we are second guessing you, whoever you are. we are.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
But you could be correct. I will have
Okay,
to dive into that a little bit when we're off the show. I'll do a little bit more Googling. I won't Google what Lady Friend Googled, though. That was inappropriate.
Oh yeah, please don't. No, don't do that. That's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea. That's something you don't want to look into. Okay.
Are you still looking into it?
I am actually. It looks like Delaware started doing it in 1950 or 1951,
Shut up. I hate you.
which is obviously after Princeton and Michigan did it.
Ah, so that's after Princeton and Michigan.
Yeah.
So was Princeton? Does it say Princeton's the first one?
I think Princeton did it before Michigan did.
But somewhere in there it said Ohio State was the first one.
Yeah, somebody just read, didn't really make any sense. But
Was that on Wikipedia? Was an Ohio State fan the one that put that on there?
would that surprise you in the league?
No, it would not.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Anyways, I just all right, whatever. I'm done with this.
All right, what else you got?
I got nothing, man. That was it.
That's it?
It's been a longer show than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, what time is it?
Almost
8:24. Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Yes. Oh yeah. You got any more like Hall of Fame stuff? Do you want to get into like who should
don't.
be in, who shouldn't be in? Doesn't
No.
matter. Okay.
No,
Yeah. We got.
I think we're probably on board with. We're probably going to skip next week.
Yes.
We're going to take next week off.
Yeah.
Now that the football season's over with.
Yes.
And then we will get into talking a little bit of pre-draft stuff, a little bit.
Some spring
We're not going to
training
deep
stuff?
dive, right?
No.
We're gonna talk a little bit of, draft.
A little bit of draft, maybe some spring training, a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Tigers, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe by then they will have signed somebody.
Anyways, I
So,
like.
How do you feel about that? Do you want them to sign Bregman?
No.
You
I
don't.
No. Not at that, but not at the money he wants. No. Not the term he wants. Hell no.
So here's the thing. I think in baseball, and we can get into it more next week. But I think in baseball, you have to be willing to say the last couple years of the contract you're okay with chalking it up to a loss,
You have to.
right? At this point with baseball, the contracts are just that long, right? And you have to be willing to say, all right, the player we're willing to get for, say you sign him to 6 years. Make it 7, right? Bregman, 7 years. I'm willing to get 4 more decent years out of him and chalk up the last 3 to a loss.
I don't know if you're going to get 4 more years.
Well,
That's the
and
problem.
so that's where you're looking at. So, or maybe you sign him to 6, right?
That's
you
what he
get
wants.
you get 3 good years,
Yeah.
and you get 3 decent years, and then you get 3 years where you're like, it's
Like,
fuck, it's
I
fuck
don't
off.
care about the money. Like, it's not my money. I really don't give a shit.
Right.
Term wise, it's going to get to the point where, like, you saw the back of Mickey's
He's
contract.
going to be Miggy.
That was terrible.
Last 3 years of his
He's
contract.
going to be an albatross in that lineup.
right
'cause his bat speed and shit's already going down.
So can't you front load it to where those last few years aren't that bad? Right. I mean, give him the 6 years, front load the contract. He makes most of it in the first 4. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways around it.
There is, especially now with like how they're deferring money and shit
And
like that.
Right. And there's nobody that he's going to be holding up if he comes here. There's
Right.
nobody below him that he's going to be stopping from growing.
No,
You know what I mean? Like, so that position is something they need. I'm not like all in, like you got to do it.
No, I'm
but-
definitely not there,
But I'm
no.
for it. I'm for it.
If they do it, I'm not going to hate it. But I'm not on board as a lot of other Tigers fans are.
Yeah, I would say I'm not as sold as some other.
I mean,
Tigers
I like that they brought back Flaherty. I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
that
that's
they brought him back.
I'm all about that.
I think the rotation is going to be pretty fucking good this year. But yes, and we've talked about this numerous times. They do need another bat. They absolutely need a
Yes.
bat in that lineup.
Yes.
And whether it's Bregman or that's pretty much the only guy left.
I mean, who else is left? That's the guy.
That's the guy.
I mean, that's maybe that's why so many people are losing their minds over it, is because he's the last one standing. That's it. Like, there is no other bat than him that you can sign.
no. So
Now
we'll see.
you can hope that some of the Tigers minor leaguers grow a little bit, but
Well, according to MLB Pipeline, the Tigers have the second best farm system in baseball.
yeah,
Which
they
is-
have a really good farm system.
which is awesome.
They've got some great players that are down in the minors. I just don't see them making a difference this year, and that's the problem.
No, but if they can develop some of these guys and get them on the roster and they can actually contribute, that's huge. But
Yeah, I think so. Clark started. He didn't even start on the major league roster. He's starting out spring training in the minors.
But here's a issue is obviously you saw Pizza Boys get divorced, right?
I did not.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's gonna go one of two ways with this. He's gonna be like a fucking stingy fuck, like he always is, or he's gonna say, "Fuck you, bitch! I'm spending this money."
Well, I hope it's that.
I hope it's the latter.
I hope it's that direction.
I hope it's the latter for sure.
I hope he says, "Fuck you, bitch! I'm
Yes.
spending the money."
Yes. So, but that could run into a problem there. So, but again, it wouldn't really change anything because that's just the way you've always been, anyways. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else we got?
no.
All right. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. Check out SOTDET.com. Click on shop, buy some stuff. We'd appreciate it. Sports on Tap Detroit merchandise. It supports us. Also, while you're there, click on our sponsors' logos. Give them a visit. Give them a like, a share, and a follow. Again, that's SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye. Have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.